Over 80,000 people emigrated from Ireland last year, most of them in search of work. So how do they get on once they leave? And what responsibility, if any, does the Irish government have to those who are forced to leave the country? Well, the Youth Council of Ireland has conducted research amongst Irish emigrants in the UK and in Canada, and their Chief Policy Officer, Marie-Claire McAleer, joins me now. Marie-Claire, thank you very much for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
First off, I suppose broad brushstrokes, how are they getting on overseas, the emigrants?
Well, it's a mixed story, really. It's positive and negative. Although many of them are having to leave in search of work and employment. They're very positive and resilient. They go through different emotions, but there definitely are many challenges that they encounter.
Particularly during the initial adjustment period,
absolutely, and many flagged that they really would caution that people who are considering immigration as an option need significant financial reserve to be able to sustain them until they can actually secure a job abroad. One of the key challenges was job searching. I think that there is a perception that you're going to walk straight into a job, and the reality for many was that it was very challenging adapting to a new environment and a new labour market, and I don't think that people had maybe considered that before they left.
Are you finding that, the old kind of emigration networks, are they still in operation? Are they getting a lot of support from other Irish immigrants when they go overseas?
Certainly in the UK and Canada there are some fantastic networks and supports. In Canada particularly, the Irish immigrants that moved there in the 70s have rallied around to support a new initiative called the Irish Canadian Immigration Centre, which has provided tremendous support. It's a voluntary organisation, and they've provided a lot of support and contacts for young Irish people, and some immigrants have been using that facility and have welcomed it, but said that such a facility would have greatly advantaged them if they had access to it prior to their departure.
And that is one of the key questions
Absolutely.
This report raises, is what duty or what responsibilities the Irish state got to these emigrants. I know you make some recommendations about what the Irish government should do in terms of helping emigrants before they go and when they arrive there.
I think the key message coming out of the research is that preparation is essential, and that some of the immigrants were not aware of things like that their qualifications weren't recognised before they immigrated to Canada, that they would have to retake exams, there's a cost attached. And they said that really they would welcome government response in terms of a strategy, a new policy response to meet their needs, a ministry, and also an existing agency with responsibility for providing information on everything from visa to accommodation to health inquiries, to provide them with the support to be prepared and to resolve any problems they may encounter before they leave Ireland.
So give a government minister here responsibility for emigration and set up an actual body that helps people prepare to go.
We're very conscious of the economic context, so we're talking about an existing agency that would have responsibility for this, but yes.
Someone like FÁS or whatever it would be.
An agency, yes, that could provide that function and build on existing supports to provide people with the absolutely essential information to equip them to be in a good position and to know what to expect before they leave, to know the pluses and the minuses of moving to a new country.
You'd think that might be a little difficult politically, wouldn't it, to actually set up a body that helps people leave Ireland?
I think that there is a framework there that we can build on, and I think we need political direction and a response to this issue. After all, it affects so many people in Ireland. This is a daily reality for young people and their families alike. It's an issue that I think largely has been dominated by the debate about whether people have to go or choose to go, and I think whilst that's important, we need to move past that and provide supports for people.
And accept the reality they are going.
They are,
so let's
and
help
some
them.
of them actually, as the young immigrants in this research have told me that they've had no options. Some of them have talked about being stuck in a rut, not being able to secure employment in Ireland. And in those situations, these people need our support before they leave.
Any reaction from politicians on this as to whether or not they may think about it?
We're launching it today, Keelan, so we'll be following up with them and advocating to have these recommendations implemented and meeting with the relevant government departments and opposition spokespersons.
Right, so not clear yet, I suppose, what they're going to do. The one thing about the research I thought was very moving, really, is talking to parents and how parents and children, they almost lie to each other when they're in contact once they go.
This was an interesting thing. I felt that young people said that one of the worst parts of the decision to immigrate was actually telling mum and dad that they were leaving. And also there seems to be this filtering of emotions that goes on. So mum and dad say, recognising the dire economic situation, that they prefer to see them leave in the hope that they would get work abroad. But they filter their emotions when talking to their children about immigration. And the young people said, if things aren't going well abroad, they tend to do the same. They adopt this filtering of emotions. So if things are going wrong and there are challenges, they will leave that out of the telephone conversation.
Everything's fine,
Skype call.
and,
yes.
yeah.
And I think another thing is, yes, ICT has been very advantageous in terms of keeping in touch, and they used it a lot in terms of communication with friends and family. But actually, there's still a lot of people who have immense homesickness, struggle with it, and when there are challenges such as lack of financial resources, job searching, this is when they struggle with their emotions and question the decision whether they should have left or not.
Yeah, you can imagine. So they really do need to consider, I suppose, at least setting up bodies to help them.
Absolutely, and that was the key message immigrants said. For those who have to leave, be prepared. Be prepared. That's the most important thing. And government need to support these people by putting in place the measures to give them the information and the advice before they leave Ireland.
OK, well, listen, Marie Claire, thank you very much indeed for coming in today.